Hello, everyone. Welcome to this intermediate division grand finals. We're in the NA region, of course, and I'm here with Dividing. We've got University of New Haven Varsity versus Paradise Tempest. And casting Paradise Tempest before, this is a very good team. What are your thoughts tonight, Dividing?
Yeah, I mean, Paradise Tempest is one of the best teams in this kind of level of competition. I was looking at their Twitter earlier today, and it turns out going into this, they've actually won 20 matches in a row across GitGud, Tranquility, and Overtime Champions. These guys have been dominant throughout these last couple of months, but some teams have gotten close to being able to take them down, one of them being the University of New Haven. These guys played together in, I believe, round 7 of the regular season and played all the way to a map 5. So don't underestimate the Chargers here to pull off an upset.
Yeah, and it's gonna be off the back a lot of that DPS, the DPS duo of Lars and Hawk for Paradise Tempest, a very good duo, especially for it being not as being pretty much a diamond lobby. Maybe a couple of Masters players climbing, but those two are very, very well, are very good in in the grand scheme of things and the lobby that we're currently in. So we're gonna look for those two to do a lot of work for this Paradise Tempest squad.
And it shouldn't be understated that I remember casting these guys a while back, several months ago, when they were playing in Owlet. And I'm seeing just about, at least most of the same roster going into this one. These guys have been playing together for a very long time. That sort of built-up synergy is so huge in an Overwatch community where it seems like teams are made and disbanded every week.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of teams. It's you never see teams stay alive for more than like a season. We see it all the time in like trials or open division, just or contenders even. Players will just go to team. They won't really stay anywhere. It's great to see people stay together, probably build friendships as well. And that's a big thing with the lower tiers of Overwatch. People can build friendships that last a long time, or in a lifetime. Sorry. But I digress. We're starting off on Busan here, Dividing. What are your thoughts?
Busan is like a very interesting map because there's such big extremes in the kinds of compositions that are played in each one. Of course, you have mecha base that's closed in, low ceilings, narrow hallways, so close range compositions end up winning the day. The Reinhardt Divas, the Cassidy Mays, all that stuff. But then you move on to downtown where things are a lot more open. You could run a slower composition there, a sort of double bubble, but a lot of teams opt to go with the 6-man rush compositions to try and play as fast as possible, cover as much distance as possible. Then who knows what you would get on Shrine. You could have Wrecking Ball compositions, you could have dive compositions, double shield compositions, all of which that can either take advantage of either the amount of space that you have to work with or the amount of space that the other team has to cover to get to you, depending on what you're playing. Busan I love the map. It's beautiful, and you almost never see teams playing the same composition in multiple maps, and that I think means that the developers designed this control map correctly.
Yeah, because a lot of the other control maps, specifically like Oasis, I would have to say, you always have to. You pretty much have just one composition you have to run specifically on each of those points, and it's like you said, Busan was properly made one of the best maps in the game, along with King's Row and others like that. Speaking of Kings Row, we'll probably be seeing it after this map because
Wouldn't be shocked.
Why would you go anywhere else besides Kings Row? But I believe everyone is in the lobby. We're just getting the okays from the teams to go in to start this off. It should be a really good series. Like you said, it was a 5-map series in the regular season, so we might be here for the long haul, Dividing. We might be seeing another 7-map series like you had yesterday.
Yeah, that was quite the marathon. Be sure to check out that VOD. It was yesterday, so it's still in the Twitch VODs. It was such a good game, such a close game too in that rookie division. And yeah, I think this is the case of two teams that are on a bit of a hot streak, clashing together, and one of them's gonna have to cool off, right? I already mentioned Paradise Tempest with the 20-game win streak, but University of New Haven, they have a bit of a streak going of their own. Ever since they lost to Forefront Esports in the winners semifinals in the bracket, they have won 3-0 all the way to get themselves back to the grand finals, currently on a 9-map winning streak. So both of these teams are getting hot at the right time. Unfortunately, when we get into Busan, one of them is going to have to take the L here, which is something that neither of them have done over the last couple of weeks.
And speaking of Forefront, they had to beat them in the losers bracket finals. So that is a bit of a nice turnaround from New Haven. Obviously, they did play them to a map 5 when they first played. But, yeah, a 3-0 over a team that you previously lost to is always the best thing. They're obviously on a very high note right now. Both of these teams looking to start off right, as I believe we are about to head into Busan. I believe both teams are now ready, and we'll see where we start off with, because that's pretty much where what we'll start our analysis of the game, because like you were talking about, compositions vary vastly depending on what map we start on.
Yeah, whichever, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to give us a really good way to get an early look at both of these teams and see what kind of compositions they're comfortable with. Busan opens the door, like I've mentioned, for a bunch of different kinds of comps to be played. And since, I haven't watched Paradise Tempest in a couple of months, I haven't watched the Chargers, I think, ever. Both of them are kind of a little bit unknown to me. So Busan's going to be a really great way for me to take a look at what they like to play, what they will play in certain situations, if there's any pocket picks. I have seen a lot of Torb being played on Shrine as a sort of anti-dive deterrent. I would love to see some. That would be a pretty crazy sort of out-of-pocket pick to come out from either of these teams. And, in the intermediate division where we are, I'm not saying the teams aren't bad, but as far as the SR ladder, it's a little bit on the lower end of what Elo Hell offers. It can be a lot more about what are you good at rather than what's meta that ends up winning the day.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of teams being on the lower side of the SR totem pole. Myself, when playing competitively, it was always more if you're on the pocket pick or your comfort pick. And usually just you're able to run around on teams that are trying to run what's meta, but they don't understand it. And we'll see if they understand the meta and can play it well. I mean, I think that's obviously going to be the team that wins it out. But right now, dividing, what are your thoughts on the compositions? We obviously have still time for them to swap off, but right now...
Yeah, we're starting off on Mecha Base here, which obviously, like I mentioned before, this is where we see a lot of the Reinhardt compositions come out. So I'm guessing we're going to be seeing a little bit of some last-minute swaps. I would be truly shocked if we're going to be seeing a Ball Hog composition this early. But both teams, actually... well, let's see if there's any last-second swaps as they come out. So... this is interesting. This is different. UnewHaven's going to go on an extremely fast 6-man composition, while Paradise Tempest are going with an Orisa Wrecking Ball comp. So a lot of eyes are going to be on culture here for Paradise Tempest. He's going to try and get in the back and disrupt this New Haven rush.
Yeah, well, Megalodon getting caught out there for a little bit, being seen as not what you want to be doing as the Sombra, but well, the Wrecking Ball was the one that caught him out, so they're not going to really pick a fight with him. But on the side of New Haven, trying to force out the objective. They've almost taken it without really anything, as Mogu is going to start it off with a pick onto culture, and they get the point in their favor. This should be the beginnings of a nice little hold and capture percentage on the point here, but we're seeing Paradise Tempest trying to take this point back, but the Orisa is getting jolted around on point, but it's going to be Hawk going down again. Mogu with 2 picks already in this fight. It should be New Haven winning this out in the end. They're going to be using Lars's Bob for some reason here, but it does get flipped over there, dividing, so that might have been a worthwhile use. I don't know what's going on, though.
And Lars generated that Bob extremely quickly, and it shows how good Paradise Tempest are with this Orisa ball composition. You know that UnewHaven, they want to use their Lucio speed boost, lose their Winston jump to try and close the distance between them and this Orisa, because in that sort of early fight, close range, they will have the damage advantage. The longer that Paradise Tempest can keep things long range, the better it will be for them. They did a fantastic job of kiting out of the way there.
Talk taking down Halen early on in the backline is massive. Almost up to that sound barrier would have been huge for UnewHaven, but obviously going to hold out, wait for that Lucy to come back.
Yeah, now Paradise Tempest, they are at a very strong position. Like we said, they're playing at the back of the point, trying to make sure that UnewHaven has to cover as much space as humanly possible to get to them. And they have ultimates. They pretty much will probably have everything other than Lars's Bob in this fight, because Qua's in the back getting a ton of poke.
Well, they're going to already start it off with the Amp Matrix and almost taking out Loki there. But the Sombra going down early in this fight still has not yet built up to that EMP. Stopping that progress for the time being is Lars there, as they're going to just have to hold out here. They need that Sombra to re-engage it. But Hawk looking to get something doing here, looking for this Pulse Bomb. Sound Barrier is invested early by Halen, and Loki takes out the Baptiste, which is massive going out. But Loki's unleashed with Attack Visor. It's got two. This should be all they need to get the point back in their favor. But just as I say that, 2 picks going in the favor of Paradise Tempest. But it should not be enough in the long run as UnewHaven get the point back in their capture.
But 96% here for Paradise Tempest. That is a fantastic first defense on Mecha Base. UnewHaven, though, now that they have the point, they're in a very strong position. Paradise Tempest now are in a position where they have to take the fight to them. It's going to be a lot more difficult when you are basically have to go up into them and get the damage. Lars is going to have a lot less, especially when he's hacked.
Yeah, it's a massive EMP coming out, followed up with a lot of damage, but it's going to get flipped over thanks to Culture on the point. I mean, it's going to only be flipped for a little bit, but it got that up to 99% now. It's last fight territory, and looking at ultimates, it's looking good for Paradise Tempest.
So that is the plan, I see. Ooh, Qua gets hacked up. Is he going to get taken out? Yes, that's a big stagger now, actually, for UnewHaven. Paradise Tempest are going to have to wait a little bit. Once again, Culture is pressuring the point. UnewHaven can't be as aggressive as they want to be with this constant pressure in the back.
And Rack goes down. Culture does get traded out. The Bob going to be invested early on. And, it did not save them there with the dividers. With the Bob, but they're already winning this fight out. They've got to pick onto Loki. They just need a couple of more picks, and they've won it in pretty well off to go into these next couple of rounds as Rack tries to dive in, gets taken down by Ricky Don on the Brigitte. This should be over for the side of Paradise Tempest. They just need to get a last couple of picks. Hawk and Lars getting unleashed onto UnewHaven as Paradise Tempest take one on Busan.
Great stuff from Paradise Tempest there. They were very unorthodox on that. But like we've been saying, it's not necessarily about what's meta, it's about what you're good at. And Paradise Tempest were very good at being able to temper the aggression that UnewHaven wanted to play with. First, by kiting around them, making sure that they couldn't close distance, and then by using Culture to continue putting pressure on the point when UnewHaven tried to really push in on the core of their team. Now, though, as we head into Shrine, Paradise Tempest are going to be swapping things up quite a bit with the Winston Wrecking Ball coming out from them. We're going to be seeing Azukari and Culture playing a lot faster. I'm very curious to see how this play style is going to work out for them. For their point, UnewHaven, they swapped to Wrecking Ball, but play style is going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah, this is a bog standard composition for Paradise Tempest. It's not a normal composition by any means, but they do love to run Winston Wrecking Ball into most of these maps here. This Culture is going to be trying to run through here, trying to get some damage onto the back line of UnewHaven University, and Lars is going to open it off yet again, starting this into their favor. Loki is down early. They just need to get these clean up fights or clean up kills. Zakari does go down, however, that could spawn a nice little re-engage from the side of New Haven. But after all these picks coming in from Lars and Hawk on the DPS, this going in favor of Paradise Tempest.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Paradise Tempest, these tanks have to be extremely cautious with how aggressive they're going to be playing, because with the Ana Zenyatta heals, if you are not in line of sight of the Ana, you basically have to assume you're barely getting any heals at all. So make sure that you are able to have a quick escape plan if you do go in for Paradise Tempest, but works out very well for them. And with that fight win, the ultimates are very much in their favor. They're going to have Nano Boost already. Lars, Qua, Culture coming up in their ultimates as well. UnewHaven are going to have to come up with something big here if they want to try and push in on this one. It's an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, that big Mogu does eat Hawk's pulse bomb there, which is big. And Ricky Don goes down in the backline to the Megalodon. But there comes out the Bob trying to save this fight as Azukari is unleashed in the backline, but they're slept and hacked for a little bit as it's still traded out. The mine's going on point from Rack, but it still might not be enough for them to win this fight out. Lars does go down as Azukari's trying to save this point for the time being. I don't know, they use the Primal Rage. They're trying to keep it going, but there's just so many blue people left on the point to win this out. It doesn't look good for them, but just as I say that, Hawk comes back from spawn, takes down Rat, and the Transcendence is invested. This should be enough for the side of Paradise Tempest to keep the point in their control.
But now Megalodon has the EMP online, and you don't know that you don't have the Transcendence to worry about anymore. Loki goes down, that's bad, but if Megalodon can go down and get Rigmadon with this, that could be the opening, and he's down.
Yeah, there goes the EMP out as well with the self-destruct, but no, what's going on? You need a touch! You need a touch, UnewHaven!
No! Come on, man, it's only map 1! We can't be doing this already!
There's been 0 days since a C9 has happened.
Yep, get the whiteboard out. Man, that was so totally UnewHaven's fight, too. They had the EMP bomb combo. They used the EMP super effectively to take down the Zenyatta on the other side. It was going their way, and they just got too excited going after the stagger kills. They forgot to put someone on to flip the point, and just like that, Paradise Tempest have taken map 1. Oh, man, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. And now UnewHaven, they have to try and get themselves mentally out of that hole that comes from making a mistake like that. I would not envy that position.
Yeah, definitely not, because like you said, they were winning that fight. They got a nice combo going out. They just needed to touch the point, and they would have had it into their favor there. But some mistakes happen. You're going to have to look to tighten things up going into next round, which is going to be hybrid. Obviously, we do not know what that map is yet, but we're going to be looking to see where we're probably going to go. Like we were talking about before, Kings Row, most likely, but I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked.
There's other maps too.
Well, I mean, going off of those maps that we saw from UnewHaven, we didn't see that Reinhardt compositions that we would normally expect out of Kings Row. Now, they might decide, hey, let's try it anyways, because we haven't seen it from them or Paradise Tempest, and in fact, that is exactly what's happened as the map pickers just come in. So this is interesting because we had a very prime opportunity on Busan Mecha Base to see these teams play those traditional Brawl, Rein Diva compositions and see how they function in that kind of setup, but neither team opted to do it. So I'm curious to see if on Kings Row anyone's going to opt in the Reinhardt, or if we're going to be continuing on this sort of off-meta brand that Busan gave us. Obviously, I have actually seen Wrecking Ball comps. I've seen Dive comps come in and work pretty well on this map. Paradise Tempest, I'm sure, are more than happy to take things off of the meta if Busan was any indication. So super excited for this Kings Row map either way.
Yeah, definitely. Something kind of like we might see something like an Orisa coming out, maybe Orisa Diva again from the side of Paradise Tempest if they're not opting for that Reinhardt brawl. But and they're starting out on attack here, dividing. And what are your thoughts on that?
That shows that Paradise Tempest, I think, are very confident in their abilities, right? Paradise Tempest, I believe, were able to pick the side that they start on. And because they wanted to start on attack, that means they want to be the ones to set the pace. They don't want to defend UnewHaven and have the pace set for them. If it's a little bit of a high risk, high reward strategy, because if you're able to get all the way through that point super fast, get 3+ minutes on the clock, then you have UnewHaven going, oh man, we just C9 the first map, and now we've given up so much on this second map. This is bad. These guys are really good. And that could start the downward spiral for UnewHaven. In these first of 4 long series, the mental game is just as important as anything else, trying to get inside your opponent's heads. And if they're able to do that, that would absolutely go towards that goal. However, on the flip side, if you get caught by UnewHaven, then all of a sudden they have a very winnable condition and renewed morale.
Yeah, my friend Chef Billy, loved him to death. He is
Hi,
a
Billy.
I don't know if he's here. He was here last night, but we'll talk about he's a very strong, adamant person for always defending first in whenever the possibility arises, because he loves to be able to shut the door on people, get that full hold on point 1, and then just take your slow time and leisure, just only getting 33% on the first point. But I'm with you more likely and then not, usually liking to attack first if I'm feeling myself, have that confidence in myself to get things to the point, to the end of the map with a very quick time. But like you said, Paradise Tempest must be feeling rather confident right now to choose that attacking first.
Yeah, I think they are extremely confident, especially after that first map that came out for them. They really caught, I think, UnewHaven off guard there with that Orisa ball composition coming out from on Mecha base. It's a pretty complicated composition that's difficult to pull off because you kind of have to have the Wrecking Ball play as sort of a sneaking agent that gets into the back, tries to roll through the other team, tries to get some pile drives, and then you can follow it up with the Orisa, with the Ashe, with the Tracer. I think that it's very easy for you to mess that up, for there to be miscommunications on both sides, but that it doesn't happen, right? They played it extremely well. UnewHaven weren't able to actively adjust to what they're doing. So I think that they were able to, so that just shows how much this Paradise Tempest team trusts each other, how much synergy that they have with each other, that they're able to pull off strategies like that. It was super impressive.
Yeah, it really was. Wrecking Ball, just being able to use your Wrecking Ball to the ability that we saw from Culture and the rest of Paradise Tempest in a lower SR lobbies is incredible things to see. It's normally a pretty difficult thing to do, to time your dives in with Hawk and Lars throwing in those Ashe Dynamites, with it just being a lower SR in general. But like we were saying to begin this, they've been together for a while now, and
yeah,
they know what how each of these team plays together, and it's showing right now. But going on to King's Row, we're already in it, and UnewHaven has locked the Torbjorn dividing.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this at the start of Busan. This is actually a pretty decent read, I think, from UnewHaven. If Paradise Tempest are going to stick onto this this sort of composition with the Wrecking Ball, with the Winston, maybe a Tracer later on, that turret being placed in the backline is a huge dive deterrent, especially for low health heroes like Tracer. You get in line of sight with that turret, you are instantly getting chunked down. It is a huge pain to deal with.
Yeah, it is indeed a huge pain, but Rack already starting the picks off into the favor of the defending squad. Rigby Dawn going back to spawn. We're seeing a swap coming in for Paradise Tempest. Lars opting for the Echo now.
Yeah, Lars goes to the Echo after trying to pull off some sort of sim TP bomb. Some ground Echo happening right now, though. It's a little interesting. I feel like you have some ability to play in the air, but still being able to go in and with your team and help pick off low-level people is really good.
Rigby getting a nice little headshot on to the opposing Orisa, as no one's really being able to touch the point at the moment. They do get a little bit of late touch coming in from Mogu, trying to keep the point into the favor of UnewHaven, but that's a rather fast capture coming in from Paradise Tempest, as everyone is just going to be looking to fall into the rest of Paradise Tempest just to die, to regroup together.
This is disastrous for the Chargers. You not only give up the point very quickly, but you give up the point with like 3 members of your team still alive. So you get staggered out. Paradise Tempest are going to be able to push the cart through this crucial choke point and continue pushing forward with pretty much every ultimate online coming up in this fight except for Duplicate. That is tough. UnewHaven are now going to make a couple swaps to a pure double shield composition with the Ash Hanzo giving a lot of long-range damage. I'm not sure how much I agree with this. This is obviously not usual for Kings Row, and the sightlines are few and far between on this map.
Yeah, definitely. As we're already seeing, they're giving so much space to the rest of the Paradise Tempest right now, with that Amp Matrix being used from both squads now. As Halen does take down Azukari, both Orisas are down, but now it's looking good for the side of UnewHaven. They've got these picks in their favor, but the Gravitic Flux coming out from Culture might have just won the fight for Paradise Tempest, as the Transcendence being used here to keep everyone topped up. They're trying to contest this card for as long as they possibly can, but it's not looking good for UnewHaven at the moment, as Magic Turtle gets too late in that fight to win out the point, as it's still a huge time bait going into 3 here.
This is a blazing time bait for Paradise Tempest right now. They're winning out these long, drawn-out fights of attrition right now, thanks to, in a large part, the damage coming out from Lars and Hawk. Obviously doing a lot more right now, the Megalodon and Loki, and they are able to win these fights without using very many ultimates at all. So Paradise Tempest, they've also held on to an ultimate advantage this entire time, and look at how far back UnewHaven has to play due to their composition. It's so much free cart push.
Yeah, as they're going to be using the Dragon Strike. Megalodon does take down Magic Turtle, which is big. So much healing gone for the side of Paradise Tempest, and no Echo copy any longer. This could be what they're looking for, but just as I say that, 2 picks are already in favor of Paradise Tempest. Transcendence and Supercharger being used to counter them out, as Paradise Tempest is going to be trying to kite it out, wait for those ultimates to go down. But still, it's looking good for them. Hawk is still alive, getting picks in their favor. Nothing doing with Mogu's Gravitic Flux that just been used. Now, Culture getting a big one in response. Takes down Loki early on. So still looking very good for the side of Paradise Tempest right now.
Yeah, but now Paradise Tempest, they're going to kind of back up and regroup here. They are low on ultimates right now. Big Rigmadon, though, is very close to that Transcendence. They might want to use that to really aggress onto this point. Now, here come the picks. Here comes the Transcendence. All the members of the Chargers are dropping down. And with over 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, the gamble to attack first has paid off for Paradise Tempest, as they set a fantastic mark to beat.
Yeah, that was incredible. They're showing such great patience is Paradise Tempest currently. Just waiting out these ultimates, like the Supercharger and the Amplification Matrix, getting everyone topped back up and going in, and it showed in their last fight there, getting those picks in droves and then getting a very big time bank. That's exactly what you want to see if you're going to be attacking first.
Yeah, Paradise Tempest have set the mark, and they've set a high one. It now comes down to UnewHaven to try and match it here. Right now, on the attack, obviously they have 40 seconds to change it here, but they're showing a 6-man dive-ish composition. It's more like a traditional dive comp, actually, if you don't have the Lucio will just speed boost in. So it's going to be Rack, Mogu, Megalodon, and Loki pushing in with Romeo and Halen in the back, assuming that they don't change anything. Meanwhile, Paradise Tempest are going with a double sniper Wrecking Ball Hog composition. This is about as silly as it gets on Kings Row right now. I think Paradise Tempest are getting a little bit confident at this point to play a composition like this. It's, I want to say half trolling, just because you don't see it at all. The Wrecking Ball has a lot of trouble with these sharp corners. As we talked about, the sight lines aren't very great for snipers. If they can win on this, though, that is backbreaking for UnewHaven.
Yeah, and UnewHaven does have. Oh my goodness!
What a hook! That's insane. Azukari just you can't go in without your Sombra. UnewHaven just have to wait.
Yeah, I was just saying before that ridiculous hook from Azukari. This is pretty much what you'd like, kind of, from the side of UnewHaven to deal with the double snipers that Paradise Tempest is running right now. But you need to be able to get past Azukari on the Roadhog. They might have caught him out here. If they do, they take down Azukari. Hawk turns it back with a pick on the Megalodon of their own. But still, the respawns are going to be in favor of UnewHaven. But a nice headshot coming in from Lars, taking out Loki. But still, they've got this respawn advantage, and Lars should be going down here. No, Moku gets demeched. But still, it should be going in favor of UnewHaven.
Yeah, if you're a Roadhog, it's very much a feast or famine kind of deal. You either get hooks and win fights for your team, or you get hacked and become a giant ult battery. But now, all of a sudden, Paradise Tempest, they've gotten a few picks. They're going to try and push back into this. Rigmadon with 2.
Yeah, Rigmadon's got 2. Hawk coming back from spawn as well. Takes out Rack. And the side of Paradise Tempest holding on. The bloodthirsty support of Paradise Tempest. Rigmadon opening that fight off and holding the .1 defense strong.
That's insane. There's no way that Paradise Tempest should have been able to come back into that one, but with Rigmadon and that sniping Zenyatta, they managed to do it. So now 2 minutes left on the clock. UnewHaven, though, they have opportunities here with the Primal Rage and the Pulse Bomb coming up.
Well, the Dragon Strike used early to try to split off the team. The sweep coming into Culture as both tanks are down for the side of Paradise Tempest. This should be enough for the side of UnewHaven to finally win this out. They've got all the picks necessary. It's just the Mercy left on point. And well, just as well as Hawk on the Hanzo does take out Loki, but it's going to be a little too late as no one can touch back as UnewHaven opening the point with a definitely a less time bank though.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's almost impossible for UnewHaven to match the time bank that Paradise Tempest had just already based on that first point defense, but you just got to take as much as you can get out of this attack right now. UnewHaven, they have 5 ultimates. Paradise Tempest have now swapped over to the Winston Wrecking Ball composition that they were playing before, as well as Lars on the Doomfist going to be looking for those one-shot punch combos. That's a key player to look out for, but UnewHaven, they have 5 ultimates. They have all of the power in this situation. How long are they going to be able to hold on to this ult advantage?
Well, I'm still confused why Paradise Tempest is using the Doomfist, but a massive EMP coming in from Megalodon should win this fight out. Lars does take out their direct counter there, but it's going to be UnewHaven winning this out. Should be, not just to say that Doomfist is going in the favor, but it's not going to be enough. It's just the Ana left on point to keep the cart stopped. Interesting decision using the Doomfist into a Sombra here, Divided.
It is very interesting. I think Paradise Tempest are just being a little creative, playing whatever feels right at the time. And to be fair, in one fight, Lars has already built up 70% to that Meteor Strike. So very early win here. Is Megalodon gonna go for a spawn kill onto the Ana? Okay, here we go. Got a 1v1 in the back here between Megalodon and Rigmadon. And now he gets anteed up and is forced to back out. So beautiful play from Rigmadon to rebuff it. And now we get back to the main fight.
Yeah, Halen's got 2 already to start this off. The nano boost is going to be used, but Romeo just goes
Big
down
sleep.
quickly after as the sleep on to Rack, as Hawk is going to be unleashing arrows into the skulls of New Haven while they're slept up. And this should be a nice re-engage coming in from Paradise Tempest on the defense to finish, keep this hold going on point 2.
Yeah, and now we see these sort of this sort of slow, methodical gameplay from Paradise Tempest and how well it works out for them. They don't take aggression very often. They sort of poke and prod at the New Haven composition, trying to force them to make a mistake, and eventually they almost certainly will, and they will pounce on it every single time. However, Megalodon is very close to that EMP once again. Ooh. Magic Turtle is wise to his presence and is going to just barely miss that bash, and we'll get a little bit of extra damage from Megalodon. So the EMP is now up and ready. New Haven can use it along with the Primal Rage and the Transcendence. Probably the High Noon as well in this fight. Paradise Tempest, though. Look at those ults. It's going to be all 6.
Yeah, the Dragon Strike starting it off. You see Megalodon waiting to use that EMP. Only gets 2, and Lars has got this, but Lars is going to be hacked up there. Not going to be able to do much with that nano boost coming out. Still wins anyone's game at the time being. The Deadeye not getting any value from Loki as the people coming back for Paradise Tempest take down Halen as well with the minefields on point. This should be another team fight win for the side of Paradise Tempest.
And this is crucial for the Chargers. Now they have 20 seconds left on the clock. They need to get back quickly. They have a lot of ground to cover to get back up onto the point. Getting the kill on Azukari, who went in a little bit too far, is going to help them out. But you can see they don't have a full team right now. Everyone's rushing to try and get back to the point. It's going to be on Mogu to get that touch.
Yeah, as Lars are trying to take out Loki here. They've got the point presence now. They should be able to get this with the slip coming on to Lars in the backline. The Dragon Strike's going to split the rest of New Haven up, though, but it's still looking good for the side of New Haven with Megalodon on the Doomfist with that one-shot potential and the Deadeye taking one down as well. Loki being unleashed on Cassidy as the side of New Haven finally cracked that defense and get that second point, but only a minute and 28 to push it through the remaining point.
The clock is UnewHaven's biggest enemy right now. If they can't get all the way to the end of this map with time on the clock, they cannot win. The best they can hope for is to draw, but you have to get to the end at all. Paradise Tempest have gone with a full comp swap now. That's interesting.
There's Rack going in with the nano boost. Got 2 already. Looking for more here as they might be getting more. They're going to be using the Primal Rage here in a one fight. An interesting decision. They do take out Magic Turtle. They need these picks. It's a good decision in the end because
you've got to win now.
These picks, they do need to win now, and they think they might have. But just as I say that, Wiggy takes out Romeo off the side of the map. That is huge. The Ana no longer available, but still, it's looking good for New Haven. They've got all the picks necessary. Megalodon with 3 in this fight alone, and they should have gotten it. The Deadeye deterring people from coming to the point, and wow, a minute. Not even a minute, 30 seconds to get to the point. Wait, no, it was a minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it was less than a minute. The time bank kind of resets a little bit here to get them up to a minute. I feel like Paradise Tempest are just getting a little bit too cute right now with their comp swaps. They are swapping pretty much on every point on every map and resetting ult charges. Yeah. They swapped literally everybody on that third map. They were playing very slow, very methodical, and New Haven pounced on them immediately. They didn't have the tools to be able to deal with the aggression that they might have if they had kept onto at least some of the heroes before that were closer to those crucial ultimate abilities. I feel like Paradise Tempest shot themselves in the foot a little bit on that third point defense, but I mean, a minute to 4 minutes and 15 seconds, Paradise Tempest are still in the clear advantage for these Kings Row extra round. It's going to come down to if they can hold New Haven out of first point for this minute. They're going back to this ball hog composition that Well, worked pretty well the first time around. Of course, Azukari looking to open things up for this team with the hooks, going back to this double sniper composition as well. A lot of one-shot opportunity here that UnewHaven has to worry about.
Yeah, as they're going to be looking to, well, they need to get this point opening, and with how their attack went first off, it's going to be really difficult. They're going to have to deal with Azukari quickly. They've got the tools to do it, but it's gonna be difficult, as we saw early on. As Hawk is gonna start this off with 2 picks into their favor, that's gonna burn at least 30 seconds on the clock, because they're gonna have to regroup and wait.
Yeah, and you were really hoping for Megalodon to be able to get a good fight in here, get most of that EMP charge available so you could have it for the second fight. That's not going to happen anymore, as Megalodon didn't get any sort of chance to get in at all. So, going to get as much charge as he can off of this Roadhog, but probably no real ultimates for UnewHaven.
And Lars taking down Romeo is huge. That they're not going to have their support line, or their main support for this entire fight, it seems. They're trying to do something, but Rack's down as well. The hook coming in, almost taking down Mogu, but the DMAC is there. They just have a hack onto Azukari. It does not look good for the side of UnewHaven. All the picks going down, all the King's forces falling down for the side of UnewHaven. At the moment, as everything's in red for the side of Fifth.
Yeah, Culture just runs over Romeo there. That was kind of funny. And yeah, Paradise Tempest, they hold UnewHaven out. That was some crazy good play. This composition is so weird, but it's also so scrappy. Everyone plays more like individuals than as a full group, sort of fending for themselves. And so if you lose someone, it's not that huge of a deal because everyone's sort of playing very individualistic anyways. So some very good play from them. And, you know, on the other side, UnewHaven, if you kill one of them, that's a much bigger deal because every member kind of depends a lot more on the teammates to get what they need to get done. So, Paradise Tempest now on the precipice of going up 2-0 in this series. All they need to do is take 1 tick off this King's Row point A in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I'd say that's doable. Yeah. That's a winnable map for them.
That's definitely winnable indeed, and they're going to be doing it with a another interesting comp here. Kind of a bulldozer composition coming out from Paradise Tempest at the moment with the Orisa Winston.
Yeah, I mean, Paradise Tempest, they're just going to get to play every tank composition eventually. No, actually, yeah. So this makes a lot more sense. We're going to move on to the Wrecking Ball, and this is new. Culture gonna be going on. Okay, can you stop swapping so I can talk about your comp, please? All right, so they end up landing on an Orisa Zarya, which is a new one. I think Culture is gonna be looking to put those bubbles on Azukari when the shield goes down, as it did right there, as well as Lars in the air, but didn't have the ally barrier for Lars. Goes down early here, so Paradise Tempest, their push gets a little bit stifled.
Well, I think we've already figured out what their win condition is at the moment. They're just trying to have Culture build up for this grab to win this out. And they have 4 minutes to do so. And he's already up to 50% on it, trying to get as much damage as possible. The Amp Matrix coming out early from Romeo, but Mogu is super low right now. Was not looking good, but Rack is going to start this fight off, and this should be enough to put the rest of Paradise Tempest back to spawn. Especially, oh, that's huge, taking out Culture, who had so much charge on their gun for the moment, is big. They're up to 80% now.
Yeah, they could have had it within the next, like, 10 seconds if they had kept all that charge and just were launching and right-clicks doing a bunch of damage. But you hit it right on the head. Paradise Tempest are looking for that grab as their win condition here. Probably also with the Dragon Strike from Hawk, just put in that unstoppable combo. Especially if they can do that before Halen's able to get the Transcendence up, that'd be massive. And Azukari down.
Yeah, Azukari down, and that's going to buy time for Halen to get up to that Transcendence here. It's going to be a very difficult. Now look at the ultimates. If they can cycle these ultimates dividing we might be seeing a draw here.
Yeah, Paradise Tempest have put all of their eggs in one basket, and we're probably going to be seeing it in this fight. Grav, Dragons, both support ultimates online. Paradise Tempest, they want to get it done now or not at all.
The Bob coming out as well with the Gravitic Flux, and Magic Turtle is down. UnewHaven winning that fight off with only using a Bob and a Gravitic Flux is massive.
It's so big. UnewHaven now are in a very advantageous position. Paradise Tempest, they use the amplification magics. Romeo's about to come onto his, so that's a massive advantage that UnewHaven has to try and sustain through the graph that's coming. Paradise Tempest, though, they didn't let go of that key combo yet, so Culture and Talk are huge here.
Yeah. And oh no! Moguzi in the graph! That's huge! The Transcendence coming out, and it's all blue. UnewHaven, there's still so much time left dividing, but wow, for almost 3 minutes to build up to what they were playing for, and Paradise Tempest's plan goes down the drain.
That was it. That was what Paradise Tempest were trying to get to the whole time. With one press of that shift key, Mogu erases all of it. Culture's going to swap over to a Sigma now to match him, go for that double shield composition. Paradise Tempest, to their credit, they do have the duplicate and the supercharger that could very easily help them push over here, because UnewHaven are really only working with the Ant Matrix. But Asukari down early again. This spam is so good for UnewHaven.
Azukari is down. It's down to, and speaking of down, the time bank's down to 40 seconds as Magic Turtle is picked as well, and they're gonna get this late pick on the Rigmidon.
This is it now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Paradise Tempest, this slow composition has been really hurting them now, because UnewHaven has so much time to just choke, get so much spam damage in this choke. They haven't had the opportunity to get a full team of 6 fight. It's gotta happen here. You still have the supercharger that you're gonna come in with, as well as the duplicate.
That's a big Gravitic Flux coming out. The Immortality Field's gonna save him for the time being, but it's not gonna matter. So much damage coming in from the rest of UnewHaven. There's only 2 seconds left, and it's all blue in the kill feed as UnewHaven get the draw with the team kill gong sounding in the end.
Wow. That is insane. First of all, okay. Good stuff first, right? UnewHaven, they came up huge in that defense. Obviously had to hold it for 4 minutes straight, and they get it done with some insane spam damage coming through. They picked off members of Paradise Tempest before they could get set up as well as they wanted to. They also did a very good job of, obviously, got to give a shout out to the Sigma there. That the key moment of that defense was eating the Grav. That was what Paradise Tempest were trying to build up to. That was their win condition for like 5 minutes, and they couldn't get it done. So we stay at 0-1 after 2 maps. That being said, I do have one question. Are Paradise Tempest allergic to Brawl or something? Because I feel like when you see UnewHaven running double shield, a very slow composition, you say, okay, we're going to go Brawl, Ryan Diva, Lucio. We're just going to speed boost into them, run over their front line, and take the point from there. Why put everything on this composition that you Frankenstein together to get this one instance of this, like, one ult combination that you're putting everything on? Then when it doesn't work, you're just screwed.
Yeah, and I mean, you could have still done the same combination, but run a Rhine instead of the Orisa. That's like bread and butter. Ryan and Zarya could have just been so much better because you could have built more grabs. Because you just overly have an over-aggressive Ryan, have like a Moira just on their tail, or maybe a Baptiste or Ana. It doesn't really matter. Have that flex support on the tail of the Reinhardt, going in deep, getting so much damage and getting damage taken to them. You have a nano boost or a coalescence. You have a graviton surge. You have the dragon strike, and what other DPS ultimate you have. This could have been a completely different fight if they didn't keep Frankensteining these compositions together.
Yeah, I just feel like Paradise Tempest are making this more complicated for themselves than it really needed to be. They had the easiest win condition ever. They just needed one fight, and they just kept on making, I don't know, they just keep on changing compositions every like 2 minutes, and I just feel like if they're just like, okay, we're gonna stick onto this and we're gonna play it simple, they would win. Because I think just based on those 2 maps, they have the edge mechanically over New Haven. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot with these crazy comps.
Yeah, and they're going to need to do something about it, because you can't keep running these crazy compositions and expect to win, as we just saw there. But we're going to head to a break before map 3. Do not go anywhere. More exciting Overwatch action after this.
They did find Cucumber, but he's going to lift him.
Oh, Vulcan gets caught right into that, and Speed is going to be able to
Oh,
follow
no.
up. Talking
You
about
let
jumping
him
over to
do.
the Doofus, talking about playing into the Doofus.
A manos de la bola. Ya son 3 las picks que conseguía el equipo de British Hurricane.
We need your help to decide our Opinion Outpost MVP of the match.
He's got a minute to kind of work some sort of pick against this Doc, and oh my good lord, he just got eviscerated. Oh!
He's not dead! Hey, now he's dead!
Holy cow, I've never seen someone get so aggressive.
Oh, catches their opponent outside of the building, and that is it.
It's Rocket League Wednesday on the High School Esports League home room. I am, as the kids say, vibing right now. This is just fumes for them, while Pharaoh rips shot after shot after shot of the back of them.
Good wall towards site, but it's already been broken, so they can't even get that spike down trustedly. Camera over towards site, and again, it's getting all that information. Epoch going absolutely massive!
Here in this map number 4 season, up on championship point, being up 2-1. Nifty dropped down to 19 HP. Joker with his M13 in hand is just trying to hold the angles.
I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel you kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it own you, control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time.
One more wine, one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes, but I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. It might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day. But I'm scared as hell, and there's just no way to know how this goes. missing why you are so beautiful. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. But it might break me.
I know the story of your life through winter storms and summer skies. There was a time when you were young and free. So let's go back to the beaches where I always make you laugh, to the forest where we found a hidden path, to the summertime of 2005, when we were still alive, when we were still alive.
Healing that's coming up from them. And then the Ana goes down after that, and it was just quick cleanup. Resignations and UnewHaven really clutching out in the DPS department for SM, and they've got first capture crossing 15%. Ultimate's coming up online already. You're going to have Deadeye, and look, we've got Grab Dragons available for that test.
Oh, and they're gonna waste no time in committing it. The Graviton comes out. It was there, but it's not gonna get any.
So excited. Thank you so much, Sidebjorn. Living up to the beautiful strats from Roar Esports. They're gonna go ahead and teleport directly on the point. So they will be meeting them tantamount.
Nothing to try and eat it with, nothing to stave it off, no support ultimates. They've got a shatter, it might just have to be put in to keep the Bastion ult, but they don't care about this Bastion ult. They've got a Batiste!
Oh man, this is just nutty right now.
This is not something that you want to push in on, but it's going to be the bomb and the charges to Mansion picks up 3! All of the 3 that you want, the Reinhardt, both of the supports, and this is the fight done already. Frost Dragon
comes.
It does pull out the Transcendence, but the anti-mid gets...
Here comes back on the Doomfist. Not half to play the EMP critically. Starjummer has the Deadeye. No half this time around. Starjummer gonna clean up the fight. Get 3. Get the electric cowboy. We're dancing effect.
This might be the best map for that in all of Overwatch, as we see the hook shot and
Bane with the silk thread shot. Show it off.
Is it gonna work really well against the Ghost Confar as fine the or you're not gonna get through this.
I love watching teams that I haven't seen play before play. It's always thrilling.
Round 1.
It really is. It's wild cards. You know, it's something you don't get to see at the higher levels. You know, everybody's at least been seen usually at lower level matches. So this is always a fun experience.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Intermediate Division Grand Finals for GGNA. UnewHaven, after a great defensive hold on map number 2, are still down 1-0, but they might have the momentum in their favor now, dividing.
Yeah, I mean, that was extremely impressive from them to be able to pull through, have the mental fortitude after just getting beaten down by that first attack to be able to hold for 4+ minutes on first points. But I have to say, I mean, Paradise Tempest, I was thinking about it over the break, and I think these guys are like the mad scientists of the game right now, right? I have not once seen them play a composition that has adhered to what seems right about Overwatch. They'll take some tanks from dive, and then DPS from sniper and poke comps, and then supports from dive comps, and put them all together and try and see if they can make it work, because that's just what they're comfortable with. And when it works, it really works. And when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work, as we saw on that Kings Row attack. So we'll see if it's going to work better on this next map, which is going to be Route 66. This is University of New Haven's favorite escort map. But I will say, when it comes to the sort of Orisa, Winston compositions that Paradise Tempest likes to run, I think Route 66 plays into that perfectly well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, especially on the first 2 points. With we've obviously seen them be running a dive tank pretty much every composition that they've been running.
Yeah.
Yeah, going into this with like Big Earls being a big holding spot for teams on the defense, as well as the I believe the saloon on point 2. It's going to be really good, especially if it's the wrecking ball. They can roll through and take those people off of the high ground. It'll be really good for Paradise Tempest to keep running that wrecking ball. But the New Haven needs to do something. They've got to expect that a wrecking ball is coming out from the side of Paradise Tempest. Having Megalodon staying on the Sombra and hacking up that wrecking ball before they can get really any chance to do anything has got to be the priority for New Haven right now.
Yeah, it has to be the priority. They have to figure out with a consistent way to be able to deal with these compositions, because, I mean, I can praise them for that impressive point hold as much as I want to, but I mean, the biggest problem is that right there. Still a 0 on the board right now. With this map pick, they have to be able to give themselves that first map win, get themselves on the board, because in any case, falling behind 2+ maps in these series is so difficult to come back from.
It definitely is. It definitely is. We're still just waiting for the ready up from the teams, I believe, to head into this. Paradise Tempest still going to be on attack here because, well, we didn't have a winner. So New Haven got to choose the map, and Paradise Tempest chose to attack again. It worked well somewhat to start with on Kings Row. Obviously, the whole overtime attack was, not as well as they had wanted to, but they had a lot of time on their attacking phase.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the original idea behind going on attack first, it was sound from Paradise Tempest, especially after they finished Kings Row with over 3 minutes on the clock, right? That was why you did that. You sort of wanted to put the other team in a sort of mental hole of like, oh man, they've set the bar so high, how will we ever match that? But New Haven, they showed that they were able to fight through it. So we'll see if Paradise Tempest are going to be able to put a similar first performance on the board here after being fairly uncontested for the first, 1 3/4 maps. They were finally sort of matched here by New Haven. So will that affect Paradise Tempest now, as they are forced to contend with the feeling of failure here?
Well, right now, we're seeing New Haven running out on their the bog standard double shield composition that won them the draw on Kings Row. Still waiting to see what Paradise Tempest are going to be running here on their attack, but it looks like dive is going to be coming out.
Yeah, very traditional dive from Paradise Tempest. This is a composition that we've seen a couple of times from them at this point. Hawk on the Genji is a new one, but compositionally, theoretically, it's about the same. The 4 members of Paradise Tempest, the DPS and the tanks, are going to be going up onto Big Girls at all about at the same time to try and burst down members of UnewHaven Varsity who are just stationed on Big Girls. It's all about closing the distance.
Ooh, but Loki taking out Rignidon is huge because that Discord orb just offers so much damage for the dive composition. There comes the dive in now. They do take down Mogu, which is a big pick indeed, and they almost take off the positioning advantage. They do. They take off Megalodon, and the Orisa seems to have gone down as Rack and Halen have been taken out by the dive of Paradise Tempest. The rest of the people from New Haven going back to spawn or just trying to regroup for the time being.
An effective dive there from Paradise Tempest, especially without Rigmadon, is pretty big. Those dives really do depend on having the increased damage from the Discord Orb to make it that much more lethal. So the fact that they are able to burst down Mogu anyways is so big. So now, UnewHaven Varsity, ooh, look at that. This might be the first Reinhardt we've seen in this series. Kind of crazy that after Busan and King's Row, this is the first time we see Reinhardt, but here we are. Rack's gonna bring on the hammer-wielding Knight here as they push back in.
Culture catching out.
Yeah, so they're gonna push back on in here as Hawk in on this Genji is in this small room. The dash ghost resets are so good, and Hawk with a triple kill in that fight is going to get that fight win with the Dragon Blade available, the Nano Blade actually coming out from Magic Turtle.
Well, unfortunately, I pressed my little mute button on my microphone, so I couldn't talk for that time being. Thank you for the coverage dividing, but now we're heading in. They're still running very strong right now. Is Paradise Tempest. As here comes the Dragon Blade out from Hawk, taking down the Megalodon early on. Another pick as well onto Loki. Two coming back for the side of UnewHaven. But still, it's going to be the side of Paradise Tempest keep pushing this cart forward. There's another pick coming in with a dash onto Romeo, as it's just the Reinhardt left on point.
Yeah, once again, Paradise Tempest, this is looking pretty similar to King's Row right now, where these guys are playing this super fast composition. UnewHaven are having a difficult time dealing with it, and it's resulting in a very fast pace so far. Do UnewHaven want to try and go back in on this? They do with the Dragon Strike.
Yeah, the Dragon Strike is going to be perfectly placed to get divide up the squad, but Kawa is being unleashed with this Genji pick 2 in this fight. Yet again, looking for more. Does take down Loki as well. And Rack is super low, getting cleaved down by the Tesla Cannon by Azukari. This is going to be the point unlocked. Look at those stats coming out from Hawk on the Genji.
I love stats. Look at all those stats. 11 final blows for this Genji player is actually insane. 10,000 damage per 10 shows how effective this has been. But now that we head into points, it actually looks like Hawk thought about changing. Is he gonna change? There's obviously a lot of conversation going on right now, and yes, looks like you are not. Are you gonna change or not, man? Just get out of spawn. Okay, we're not gonna change. Hawk and Magic Turtle are gonna try and go for one more Nano Blade combo probably before the swap comes in. UnewHaven though are gonna go for another change. They're now on 6-man.
Well, here comes the minefield out as Hawk is going to use the Dragon Strike early. Obviously, one of the reasons why they didn't want to swap it off, but it's going to be Culture starting this fight off into the favor of Paradise Tempest with 2 picks of their own. A nice little clip onto Romeo, finishes him off, and this card's still rolling here.
Paradise Tempest are in such a strong position now. Lars is set up beautifully for a quick pulse bomb here. Where are you going to try and bring it out?
Well, it's going to be Hawk to start the fight off yet again with a pick onto the flex support of UnewHaven. But the picks going in the favor of UnewHaven for the time being. With the respawns in their favor, should be good. But Lars is being unleashed with the Tracer in the backline, taking down so many people, but the sound barrier is there from Halen. It should stop the respawns of Paradise Tempest coming forward, as they're going to be all topped up and they're going to go back to spawn for the time being.
That sound barrier from Halen was so clutch. It stops the momentum of Paradise Tempest, forces them back, and now Hawk is going to go onto the Torb, as this is actually a pretty interesting counter pick. Loki went onto the Tracer, so if you put that into the back by your support line, it would be a lot easier, a lot more difficult actually for the opposing Tracer to get in the back and harass your supports here, because turret's going to be shooting at him as protector.
Well, Hawk opted for the the Reaper this time, and a nice stick on to Halen. This should be enough for the side of Paradise Tempest to win this cup in the end. But just as I say that, 2 picks coming in for the tank duo of UnewHaven might have solidified this defensive hold. A nice pulse bomb stick onto Culture as well, as everyone's still just everyone's following, but it's going to be UnewHaven coming out on top yet again on this defense on point 3.
And once again, just like King's Row, Paradise Tempest were marching down Route 66, looking to make their destiny on this map to go up 2-0 in the series. And at the 11th hour, UnewHaven are putting their feet down on the defense. Some beautiful stuff from them to continue holding on.
Yeah, as this is going to probably be Azukari starting this fight off with the Primal Rage after a dive into the rest of the squad. But it's going to be a hack onto Mogu and the rally coming out from Rigmidon to start the fight off in their favor. The pick onto Halen is massive, who are trying to build up to a second sound barrier, as well as it's all red now in the kill feed. They might have enough time for UnewHaven to come back from spawn, however.
Yeah, there is a little bit of time here, but the Primal Rage from Azukari is going to be bumping everyone around the point. It's just the Wrecking Ball trying to spin to win. No more spinning for you as Paradise Tempest. They get stopped for a while there on point C, but they will cross the finish line.
Yeah, and it's still, you'd like to have more time on the clock. Everyone gets a chance, I believe, if, everyone gets a chance to attack in overtime if both teams capture, but having more time is always better. But now we're heading into UnewHaven's attack of the of Route 66, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they decide to run here.
Both these scenes have been so flexible, it's insane. I genuinely can't tell you what UnewHaven is thinking right now, because we've seen both them and Paradise Tempest play like 10 different compositions already, and we're in map 3. Like, it's totally insane. As of right now, they have 35 seconds to change it, but right now, it looks like they're going for a double bubble strategy. This is sort of a mix between dive and brawl, where Rack is going to jump in on that Winston, get the Zarya bubble from Mogu, and use that to buy space for the rest of the team to move up. Paradise Tempest, they're sticking on to this monkey wrecking ball composition that they have played with so much and had so much success with so far.
Yeah, and we got some stats here coming in from Culture on the wrecking ball. 15 elims, 4.5k damage done, and 7 final blows. Very good stats coming out from Culture on this wrecking ball so far. We'll see how things go on for this UnewHaven attacking phase. They're trying to take this high ground up early, almost getting caught out by Culture, but it's going to be Lars who starts this fight off. Lars with 3. Oh my goodness. 2 with a dynamite and a finishing blow as well on to the Megalodon. Is going to start this fight off in favor of Paradise Tempest.
I mean, UnewHaven were playing that so close together. It was super easy for Lars to just shoot off a dynamite, get all 6 of them burning, and keep on launching shots into them. So at least for now, the long range of the Lars damage puts Paradise Tempest ahead, already almost 2/3 of the way to a bomb.
Yeah, it's going to be it's really incredible to see. They're already up to almost up to 70% of that bomb. The dive coming in here as they do swap off to this wrecking ball Winston composition, super monkey ball as people like to call it. But Lars is going to start it off yet again with a pick onto Halen. Taking out the support line is massive for this DPS player, for Lars, but they're going to be super dive there. Rack takes them down late on. The Valkyrie being used by Rigmidon, trying to keep people up and healthy. And still looking good for Paradise Tempest, but almost Hawk going down. The Primal Rage being invested. They're going to be looking to tip the rest of these people off the side of the map, but no, nothing is doing. It's going to be Culture who takes down Halen, but the Sleep and the Anti takes down Azukari in the end. But still, it's good for the side of Paradise Tempest. They keep winning these fights out.
Yeah, Paradise Tempest are playing so fast, so aggressive that UnewHaven, even when it seems like they're able to finally punish Azukari for flying a little bit too close to the sun, everyone else is getting so much value from the space that he created for the rest of the team. So Paradise Tempest, without their Winston for a little bit longer, so if UnewHaven want to be fast here, they could take a 5v6 possibly, but now Azukari is back up on Big Girl, so that opportunity has passed. It is just going to be the duplicate that they have. Ooh. Never mind, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, they don't have the duplicate because, you know, it's Hawk getting three with the Dragon Blade. Rack just goes off the side of the map, and they have to reset.
Yeah, this is now looking really bad for UnewHaven. You have 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. You have been completely stifled so far by this super aggressive attack from Paradise Tempest. However, their ult bank has been depleted. UnewHaven, they have duplicate, they have mines and nano boost. This is probably their best shot to get in, and it's great timing because you only have 1 minute left.
Well, they're going to have to start it off, and they're starting it off with a nano boost onto Rack, taking down Magic Turtle with a combined effort with Mogu and Rack is going to be huge. The the tank duo getting all the kills they need for the side of UnewHaven, but they still have a chance to probably get a second fight if Paradise Tempest gets quickly back.
UnewHaven used every ultimate that they had to win that fight, and yes, Paradise Tempest, they have the opportunity for another fight, and they are absolutely going to take it. Lars will have that Bob online to be able to continue contesting points, as well as a Valkyrie from Rigmon and giving healing and damage boost to all.
Well, a nice roll through does cancel out positioning, but Romeo gets down thanks to the Bob. The res is there as well to get Magic Turtle in this fight. It looks like we're going to be seeing a full hold coming in from Paradise Tempest, as it's just Loki left there on point as well with Mogu on the Wrecking Ball now, but they've got the Tank Buster of Hawk on the Reaper to finish him off in the end. Rack trying to touch, they do touch, but the minefield is there to stop people from touching for much longer as the respawns are coming back, but it's not going to be enough as Hawk's unleashing the shotguns onto UnewHaven, as it is Paradise Tempest winning in a full hold fashion and going up 2-0 in the series.
Dominant from Paradise Tempest. I liked them so much better in this map compared to King's Row, where it felt like they were doing wholesale comp switches like every 30 seconds to a minute. This time around, they generally stayed on the same composition with slight variations that made sense to counter what the Chargers were trying to do. I really loved what Paradise Tempest are putting out there, and I think the results speak for themselves, right? If Paradise Tempest play around one win condition, in this case, it was the aggression from the tank lines and the ultimate combos coming out from Hawk. If you can play around those win conditions, keep things simple for yourselves, I think Paradise Tempest at a 2-0 lead are in a very strong position to become GitGud champions. I mean, obviously, we're not done yet, but it was a very strong showing for Paradise Tempest there.
Yeah, definitely, especially on that defense after a kind of a shaky defense on King's Row. They had their moments like where they were shaky, but overall they're still looking very confident after a very bad misplay on King's Row, coming back, taking that in such a dominant fashion. But we do have a stat coming on the screen for you here. Ash
stats.
Lars is Ash stat coming out. Ooh, look at that.
Look at that accuracy. Hitting over half of your shots on Ash is insane. And I think it shows that Lars was put in positions by the rest of the team to really pop off. The aggression from the tanks made it so that everyone on the side of UnewHaven were just preoccupied trying to deal with Azukari and Culture, that you couldn't do anything about Lars in the back just poking into your team so often. Was undisturbed, was able to take his time and make sure every shot rang true, and it worked out so well for Paradise Tempest on Route 66.
Well, keeping with the tradition of Paradise on attack, we're heading to Egypt. We're heading to Temple of Anubis here, and another I mean, it does still play to what both of these teams have been running.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, when it becomes to what they're running, it's just been pretty much everything. But yeah, I think both teams, this has become kind of a divey match. Both teams seem to really favor those Winston Wrecking Ball, sometimes Diva compositions. And so when it comes to that, UnewHaven and Paradise Tempest could probably find a lot of success on Anubis A. And then the secondary comps, the Orisa-based comps, the Double Shield, the Orisa Diva, Orisa Zarya, if you really want to try that again, Paradise Tempest, that is where you could go on defense on Anubis. Could work really well there. I think, obviously, this is University of New Haven's favorite assault map, so you got that going for them, but so is Route 66, and we saw how that went, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen the side of UnewHaven and and Paradise Tempest opting for Ashe a lot of the time. We could be seeing an Ashe-based defense, maybe with the Junkrat coming out. But, I mean, we haven't seen the Junkrat being played at all, so we're probably not going to be seeing it. We do have a sub coming in, it seems. We'll get that name for you when we have it. But it's probably from the side of UnewHaven, because if I was Paradise Tempest, I wouldn't be changing anything up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait for us to get it and yes, it is gonna be Helen coming in for Anastasia on the side of the University of UnewHaven. She is going to, Anastasia is gonna be coming in. Anastasia, sorry, is gonna be coming in for Helen. So this is gonna be very interesting. Looking at the most played hero for the team, Anastasia has played a lot of Mercy coming out from this composition. So when we're looking at potential Mercy-based compositions that could be played on Anubis, instantly my mind goes to, of course, Far Mercy, Echo Mercy. Can get a lot of value on the open skies of Anubis, so potentially we could be seeing them go for that kind of composition. It could get a ton of value, especially if we see the sort of Somber Reaper rush comp come out from Paradise Tempest that doesn't have much long-range ability.
Yeah, as well with what I was saying before, the Ashe Junkrat could be beneficial with that, just lobbing in so much damage with the Junkrat, getting that damage boost, as well with the Ashe Dynamite, with just the small sight lines of, or small areas of Temple of Anubis. That composition could be a very well versed with this Mercy that we're most likely going to be seeing from UnewHaven coming out.
Yep, teams we're going to be heading into Anubis now. Once again, Paradise Tempest, they're going to be looking to set the bar, set the stage for the UnewHaven attack, as they are going to go first. But we'll see if Anastasia's inclusion on the UnewHaven squad provide that spark that they've been looking for.
Yeah, and that's definitely what they need here. They've got they've shown very good bright spots, Loki and Megalodon, and especially that tank line of Rack and Mogu. We saw, especially on their attack, lackluster as it was, they were getting a lot of picks in their favor, and that is a big thing if you're going to be running a dive-based composition. From what we're seeing from UnewHaven again. But right now, it's not looking. It's an interesting decision to go with the dive defense for UnewHaven.
It's going to be interesting because with, I assume what UnewHaven's going to try and do is they're going to wait for Paradise Tempest to kind of jump on top of the point, and then they are going to jump on top of them as sort of a counter dive to the dive, as with Megalodon getting so much damage with the damage boosted Mercy at his side. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they play this. I'm expecting this to be very fast-paced.
Well, Lars already losing positioning thanks to Mogu, but Mogu took so much damage and is going to be demeched to start this off already. It's a pick going into the favor of Paradise Tempest. They do lose Azukari, which is huge, but still, picks going in favor of Paradise Tempest, and the res is also there. This should be enough for the side of Paradise Tempest to win this out, as the res was burned just seconds earlier onto Rack. Well, when you don't have your Mercy for the time being, you're going to go down as Lars just unleashing headshot after headshot on to the side of UnewHaven. But like I was saying earlier, this tank line of UnewHaven is just pumping out damage, but still, these respawns coming back for Paradise Tempest should win them this fight in the end. Because, well, Culture's got 2 in this fight. It just seems to be Rack left on point. They're going to be investing the Primal. They're trying to keep this point in their favor. The Bob coming out as well.
Mines are coming up very soon as well.
I don't know. They're trying to keep this going as long as they possibly can. It might seem to be working because Loki's taking out Culture, but Azukari's yet again getting picks into their favor. It's just a Tracer left. This finally should be Paradise Tempest's point.
There were so many layers in that elongated fight with the dives and the counter dives and the counter dives to the counter dives and the tanks going down and getting back into the fight. But Paradise Tempest, I believe, had the slight spawn advantage in that situation, so they do manage to come out ahead without using very many ultimates. So the snowball potential here is huge, especially with the Nano Blade that's about to come out from Hawk.
Well, the Nano Blade is out, but it's going to be countered out somewhat by the minefields of Mogu. But still, this point progress is ticking up for the side of Paradise Tempest, thanks to some nice plays coming out from the rest of the squad, as the rest of UnewHaven was occupied by the Dragon Blade. Paradise Tempest just walked on point, took the point very quickly, and it seems like we're going to have a very big time bank coming in from for the side of Paradise Tempest on Temple of Anubis now.
Yeah, they just have to get another couple of percentage on board, but now with the duplicate from the Megalodon going on to that Wrecking Ball, can you get those mines up? No, that would have been so huge to get Paradise Tempest dislodged from the point, but instead you get knocked out of it, and now Azukari has 1,000 health and is very upset. Culture is also nano boosted on the point. This tank line is doing so much for Paradise right now.
Well, right now it seems like Paradise Tempest is getting 2CP'd, but just as I say that, 2 picks do come out for Paradise Tempest, and Lars yet again with some dynamite action, taking out 2 as well. And finally, Paradise Tempest get point 2 with a still very respectable time bank.
That's just what you have to do on 2 CP maps in Overwatch in 21. If you want to take point B, you have to win 2 fights in a row, pretty much. And Paradise Tempest, they managed to pull it out after it looked, admittedly, a little bit scary there with the mines coming out, forcing Paradise Tempest to play with not as much aggression as they wanted to, but they showed a really good amount of patience there, waiting for those ultimates to go away before going back in and securing themselves that point. So Paradise Tempest, with almost 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, looking very good right now to start off Anubis. That is an extremely good first attack. It is now up to UnewHaven to try and deal with it.
Well, and Paradise Tempest is coming out expecting a dive from UnewHaven of their own, as Hawk opting for the Torbjorn pick, and a very good anti-dive hero. And they seem to be picking right, because UnewHaven opting for a dive of their own.
Yeah, picking up on a dive. So this is going to be very interesting here, right? Because Paradise Tempest, they're going to be playing that Orisa-based Ashe comp. So they're going to want to be playing really far back, try and keep things as long range as possible. While UnewHaven, they want to be getting up close with the Winston, the Tracer, in some sense, the Echo from Megalodon. So going to be very curious to see if UnewHaven can close the distance before Paradise Tempest can chunk them down with the Ashe, the Orisa, and the Tor.
Well, we're going to be seeing it. They're just waiting it out here, but because they're going to be doing a change with Mogu going on to the Zarya and Anastasia, opting for the Mercy now. They've seen the composition that Paradise Tempest is running. They like the double bubble in the matchup instead. So they're still waiting, but they can't really push because Rack is losing so much health.
Yeah, like we said, this spam coming out from both these teams, from Paradise Tempest, is so big right now. Rack is just basically trying to body block right now. And to be fair, it has worked out well for them. No one's died, and now Romeo has the nano boost. This is now what they're going to try and engage on.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea for the side of UnewHaven. But oh my goodness, overshoots the jump, but they do almost take out Hawk in the end, but it's not going to matter as Rigby Dawn and Hawk still getting picked into their favor, and Lars raining damage from on high yet again with this Ash pick that we've seen work out for them so well so far throughout this series, as the defense starting off strong.
That was unfortunate. All that set up to get the nano boost on Romeo, all for Rack to just end up flying over the entirety of Paradise Tempest, not getting the clean engage that UnewHaven wanted, and now you are forced to swap up, try and get something else going with enough time to build up ultimate. It's going to be a double shield versus double shield. I'm not sure how I feel about this from UnewHaven, because they are still in a disadvantageous position. They have to play up into the high ground.
Well, they're going to be using the Amp Matrix early on as Lars takes down Anastasia early on as well to start this fight off, and it's going to hold the UnewHaven in this position, and they can't really push without this Baptiste.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait for Anastasia to come back to be able to really fully push in. Now the Baptiste is coming back. The question is, does Paradise Tempest know this, and can they capitalize on it? No. The Sigma Shield from Mogu comes out to secure safe entrance. So now UnewHaven, they're going to try and push on this high ground.
Well, Lars does have this bomb as well. Hawk using the Molten Core to start things off, throwing it into that tiny room. You can't really push now through it, because you're going to be taken down just like Anastasia early on yet again. They're not going to be able to push through this point at all, as it seems like Paradise Tempest is just going to push through and get these stragglers before anything can really continue.
Yeah, Culture gets taken out of the mech, but luckily the bomb is there, and ooh, a nice squish there on the Mogu, the remech kill, and Culture is going to continue to try pushing in, finds Romeo, and that is going to be the last stagger there. That's a big stagger, though. UnewHaven has to wait now for Romeo to respawn to get one last fight in. 40 seconds left on the clock for UnewHaven. They have ultimates on the board, but so does Paradise Tempest, and there's so much pressure here. Going down 3-0 in a first to 4 series is almost impossible to come back from. You have to put something together right now.
Oh my goodness, Rigby Dawn with 3 to start this off. So much damage coming out from the amplification matrix. They didn't even have to use the supercharger as well. As, oh my goodness.
Hammer kill!
They get the hammer kill as well. There's 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be very difficult for UnewHaven to even touch the point.
And look at all those check marks for UnewHaven. They had 6 ultimates, and they very well are going to go to waste. Beautiful aggressive gameplay from Paradise Tempest. They take the wind out of UnewHaven's sails before they can even get off the port, and they go up 3-0 in this series. They are on championship point.
Yeah, and this has got to be the Rigby Dawn play that we just saw that sealed the deal for the side of UnewHaven, as just some nice plays coming in from the Orisa. Look at that, all the Orisa. That was all the Orisa there.
Yeah,
we saw it from the assist markers on the kill feed. A great play coming out from Azukari there.
And that is back-breaking for Paradise Tempest. You had the ultimates. You had everything that you needed in order to get yourself, at the very least, a foothold onto point A. Extend the map for a couple more minutes. Give yourself any sort of chance that you needed to get back onto the point. But it's just one Orisa pull and one amplification matrix that ends up nullifying all of it. And that's just one of the saddest sights in Overwatch, Joker. Seeing that row of check marks that doesn't come to use.
Definitely not, because you can't use them in the next map. But we do have a DPS comparison for the side of Paradise Tempest here, as Lars and Hawk. Just look at Lars. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, the final blows from Lars. I wish that we could see maybe the whole team to see if maybe like a Fleta deadlift was there, because Lars was getting constant picks on the Ashe, was doing so much damage there. Hawk, of course, was also doing his job. Nothing against him. Looks pretty bad in his case right here, but was doing a lot of really good spam damage. Lars was finishing things off. You can see when you look at damage done per 10, Hawk very much pulling his own 10,000 per 10 is not too shabby at all.
Yeah, and it was just the Torbjorn for Hawks because Lars played the entire map, I believe, as Ashe. Hawk was swapping off different heroes now and then. It's just Torbjorn. Still a lot of damage done on that short defense that we had from the side of from the side of Paradise Tempest. But map 5 is coming up here, and what do you say to yourself if you're UnewHaven?
I mean, at this point, this isn't a best of 4 series, a first of 4 series, right? You're just playing a series of first to ones. It is one map at a time. You win this 5th map. It's going to be Lijiang, by the way. You win this 5th map. You go on to map 6. You win that one. It's just another series. You just have to take it one map at a time. Try and slowly climb yourself back into this. But man, Paradise Tempest are on a roll. They are on the precipice now. I'm not saying a reverse sweep is impossible, but it is extremely difficult to come back from 3-0 in a best of 7. It's so hard. It's so mentally taxing too from University of New Haven. That feels like they've just been taking blow after blow this whole series.
Yeah, and we're going to see if New Haven can start the reverse sweep right after this short intermission. Do not go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the conclusion of this series.
They did find Cucumber, but he's going to lift him.
Oh, Vulcan gets caught right into that, and Speed is going to be able
Oh,
to follow
no.
up. Talk
You
about
let
jumping
him
over to
do.
the Doofus, talking about playing into the
A
Doofus.
manos de la bola. Ya son 3 las picks que conseguía el equipo de British Hurricane.
We need your help to decide our opinion outpost MVP of the match.
He's got a minute to kind of work some sort of pick against this Doc, and oh my good lord, he just got eviscerated. See?
Oh! He's not dead! Hey, now he's dead!
Holy cow, I've never seen someone get so aggressive.
Oh, catches their opponent outside of the building, and that is it.
It's Rocket League Wednesday on the High School Esports League home room. I am, as the kids say, vibing right now. This is just fumes for them, while Pharaoh rips shot after shot after shot of the back of them.
Good wall towards site, but it's already been broken, so they can't even get that spike down trustedly. Camera over towards site, and again, it's getting all that information. Hebot going absolutely massive!
Here in this map number 4 season, up on championship point, being up 2-1. Nifty dropped down to 19 HP. Joker, with his M13 in hand, is just trying to hold the angles.
I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can I feel your grip tonight? I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your grip tonight? Hear you say you're fine. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can't get this off my mind. Does it own you, control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. One more wine, one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say, I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day. But I'm scared as hell, and there's just no way to know how this goes. And I can't help but say, dressing why you are so beautiful. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me.
Healing that was coming up from them. And then the Ana goes down after that, and it was just quick cleanup. Resignations and UnewHaven really clutching out in the DPS department for SM, and they've got first capture crossing 15%. Ultimate's coming up online already. You're going to have Deadeye, and look, we've got Grab Dragons available for SM.
Oh, they're gonna waste no time in committing it. The Graviton comes out. It was there, but it's not gonna get any.
So excited. Thank you so much, Sidebjorn. Living up to the beautiful strats from More Esports. They're gonna go ahead and teleport directly on the point, so they will be meeting them tantamount.
Nothing to try and eat it with, nothing to stave it off, no support ultimates. They've got a shatter, it might just have to be put in to keep the Bastion ult, but they don't care about this Bastion ult. They've got a Batiste!
Oh man, this is just nutty right now.
It's not something that you want to push in on, but it's going to be the bomb and the charge into Mansion Pixel at 3! All of the 3 that you want, the Reinhardt, both of the supports, and this is the fight done already. Frost
Here it comes.
It does pull out the Transcendence, but the anti-mid gets...
And here comes back on the Tempest, not hacked up by the EMP critically. Starjummer has the Deadeye, no hack this time around. Starjummer gonna clean up the fight, get 3, get the electric cowboy, bird dancing effect.
This might be the best map for that in all of Overwatch as we see the hook shot and
Bane with the silk thread shot. Show it off.
Isn't gonna work really well against the Ghost Confar as fine the UP will find yeah, but you're not gonna get through this.
I love watching teams that I haven't seen play before play. It's always thrilling.
Round 1.
It really is. It's wild cards. It's something you don't get to see at the higher levels. Everybody's at least been seen usually at lower level matches. So this is always a fun experience.
Welcome back, everyone. It is do or die for University of New Haven. They're down 3-0 going into Lijiang Tower. This has got to be the start of their reverse sweep.
Yeah, it has to happen here or it's not going to happen at all. We are here for the GitGud North America Grand Final. So this is championship status on the line here. And University of New Haven, they have to win 4 in a row from this point. But Paradise Tempest have been looking incredibly strong, especially after losing King's Row. They've sort of reined themselves back a little bit. They've settled on these dive-based compositions, the Winston Wrecking Ball kind of thing that has worked extremely well for them in the first couple of maps. I mean, the results speak for themselves. Ever since that happened, they full held on the 3rd map and they full held on the 4th map as well.
Yeah, it's they're not leaving anything up to chance any longer. Paradise Tempest is just become a defensive juggernaut on defense these last 2 maps after getting unfortunately being drawn on King's Row, and we're heading to Control Center. And like we were saying on Route 66, only one time the Reinhardt has been played in Control Center, predominantly a Reinhardt map.
It is predominantly a Reinhardt map, but since when has Paradise Tempest cared about what the meta is, right? We're seeing Winston Wrecking Ball, just like always. Paradise Tempest, it has worked for them so far, so why not keep it that way? University of New Haven, though, they're going to be going on to the meta composition, or at least one of a variant of that meta composition. That Symmetra Junkrat is going to offer so much close-range damage, along with the shields of Rack and Mogu just being so oppressive up front. But Lars coming around on the side on this Far Mercy doesn't really have to worry too much about that, because he's going to stand off to the side and be chucking in rockets.
Yeah, Hawk almost getting caught out there by the Sigma, but a lot of damage coming in onto Lars with no hit scan still available on the side of Paradise Tempest, as still traded out currently. Loki down, but now it's going in favor of Paradise Tempest, as all the picks seem to be favoring them now. It's just a couple of people left on point. It's just the tank line left now, as Lars is just going to be cleaning up the rest.
Yeah, while this map geometry certainly does favor UnewHaven at this point, Paradise Tempest, if you allow Lars to just get inside this sort of control center console and fly around undisturbed, do whatever he wants, he's going to take over this game. It's as simple as that. You have to be able to come up with a strategy to shut him down, and for UnewHaven, it's going to be a complete comp change. Wrecking Ball, Diva, it's like very fast, and Megalodon and Anastasia are going to be up in the air.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something about Lars, because he was just raining damage very much not checked at all. But it's going to be Megalodon with that swap over to the Echo, starting things off. Getting 2 in this fight is big, and they're going to get a third as well. A big full swap coming in from UnewHaven as the Megalodon takes down 5.
Yeah, the adjustment from UnewHaven is so good. I do like the Echo in those sort of air duels with Farah there. Echo is a lot more maneuverable in the air, and when Paradise Tempest, they don't have any other real way to deal with Echo. So it works out really well, especially once the Megalodon wins that air fight. That has been the key thing so far in the early goings here.
Well, now they're going to be pushing back, and they've got a lot of ultimates to use as Azukari goes in with the barrage as well from Lars, getting it 2, and they're going to quickly get it back as they do get the kill, the final blow onto Mogu.
And this is what Paradise Tempest has been so good at all series long. These clean, fast engagements with Azukari, Culture, Hawk, all working together in tandem to burst down UnewHaven before they can even react. It shows how much these guys trust each other. Paradise Tempest now with 65% and counting. Azukari has the Primal Rage and Rigmadon has the Valk.
Ooh, a nice stick coming in onto Azukari and Antinate as well. Primal is just going to have so much health on their side. Megalodon does start it off, getting another pick on this onto Lars to start things off. It should be enough for them to win this out, unless there's a nice re-engage that might be starting from the side of Paradise Tempest. Just as I was saying it, Hawk does take a pick on takes down Mogu, but still, there's Megalodon in the air with the copy now of the ball, but it's up to 99%. It's last fight territory. If they don't win this fight, they're down to match point and series point. They need to do something. They do get the minefields up from Megalodon's copy, but they're not going to stay around for too much longer because it's already gone. But Megalodon still gets picked into their favor.
Yeah, UnewHaven should be able, especially with the mines littering the point, both from Rack and Megalodon, be able to push out here. So Paradise Tempest are pushed back for the moment, but it was an expensive fight for UnewHaven. They used so many ultimates, and they only really have the Pulse Bomb from Loki, maybe a Nano Boost from Romeo as well. And Paradise Tempest, I see that EMP from Lars. That could be the round-winning ultimate for Paradise Tempest, but who knows? It could also be the Pulse Bomb, the Nano Boost, the Valk, the Mines. They have everything online.
Well, they're not even going to use it yet because they don't have it up yet, and they're not going to need it to win this fight out. They've already taken down the Megalodon, and there comes the EMP, getting the remaining 3 people left on the point. as it should be all they need. It's just a cleanup and ult fiesta from Paradise Tempest as Azukari goes to the doors to keep people from touching, as it's going to be very difficult. No one's going to be able to touch as it's down to map point and series point and championship point for Paradise Tempest.
All Paradise Tempest needs is one more round. They're marching towards their destiny in UnewHaven. They're feeling the sand slipping out of their fingers right now. They have to figure out something right here, right now. Their backs could not be more against the wall at this point. And it looks like as we head on to Gardens, Paradise Tempest are going to play Reinhardt for the first time the whole series? Are you kidding me? That is insane. That's like the least Reinhardt of all three of the Lijiang maps. But Hawk is gonna go on to Symmetra, and they're going to use the teleport. Actually, not to get onto the point. They're gonna use it to go into White Room instead. I can't imagine that University of New Haven is expecting this. We haven't seen this all day.
Then that might be the win condition for it. They're playing something they weren't expecting, but it's gonna be really difficult to walk in with the splashbang
so
and
low.
the hammer as Azukari starting a pick on to Anastasia, as this should be opening the point for the side of Paradise Tempest with all the picks going into their favor.
Iraq jumps in and gets immediately melted down. The close range damage from Paradise Tempest was just too much to deal with, as well as the healing as well. They had the Symmetra teleport, and that was able to offset what they would get from the Lucio speed boost. So you have Ana and Baptiste heals. This comp from Paradise Tempest is so incredibly stable. They have so much healing available to them. And UnewHaven now goes on a Rhine to counter.
Well, from Maywell coming out, trying to cap Azukari, and Romeo does take down Lars to start things off. That is huge, but there's an Ari and Earthjetter online for Azukari, just waiting to get it in fully taken out as the pin comes out, but it's not going to be enough as Paradise Tempest, they're losing people, and they're losing people fast as everyone is pushing forward from UnewHaven, and they're going to get this point into their favor now.
That's great from UnewHaven. Shout out to Megalodon there with a perfect Maywall there, sectioning off the tanks of Paradise Tempest from the rest of the team. Azukari had no choice but to try and charge in, get anything that he possibly could out of that fight. And did not end up happening, but Hawk with the headshot kill on the Loki. This is now the go button for Paradise Tempest, and they have so many ults.
Yeah, and they're going to start things off with a Dragon Strike into the enemy team. The Shatter coming out does connect to Romeo, and that's what they were looking for. They take him out, and Lars with a two-take Deadeye as well. All their ults being used pretty much. They still do have Self-Destruct and the Nano Boost, however.
Yeah, Paradise Tempest are in such a strong position right now. They have played so well around these nano boosts all game long. I can't imagine it's going to be going on to anyone but Azukari at the perfect time. So Paradise Tempest could very easily win this fight off of that, but UnewHaven, they also have the Blizzard, the Bomb, the Beat. They have so many tools to push, and they have to do it now with 70% and counting.
Well, Azukari's got two thanks to the Nano
No Blizzard!
Boost, and the Blizzard cannot be used any longer as it's Azukari just running rampant with the German hammer as the team kill gong sounds, and it's down to 85%. This might be last fight territory coming up.
That's insane! The Nano Boost is so perfectly timed, and it happens again before UnewHaven can get set up. They have 4 ultimates, but now, again, they have to rush, and Hawk gets Romeo! Are you kidding me? They don't have BAP!
That's all they're down. That's the Blizzard pitching, and the
Blizzard, oh my
Self-Destruct is
God.
out! That should be it! All the red is filling the kill feed as Paradise Tempest have done it. They've won GGNA Intermediate Division Grand Finals in a very convincing fashion.
I mean, what? It was just like Anubis. UnewHaven had all the tools they needed to push back into it. Paradise Tempest, they play that fast, aggressive play style, get the kills before UnewHaven can even blink, and they win that fight. And then the pick from Hawk, the eat from Culture, the shatter, and just overall aggression from Azukari. If there was any worthy winner of GitGud North America, it is Paradise Tempest. GG's, congratulations.
Oh my goodness! And we saw Megalodon's damage there for on the Echo. That was an incredible feat from Megalodon. Shout outs to you. You were incredible on that Echo all night long, but unfortunately, in the end, Paradise Tempest was just a better team.
Yeah, Paradise Tempest just showed, again, we mentioned this at the beginning, Paradise Tempest are a team that have been together for an extremely long time, and I think it really showed in that match. Dive is a composition that requires a lot of coordination. Everyone has to be in sync with each other at all times, and Paradise Tempest did a fantastic job the entire time. It felt like there were very few, if any, moments where players were miscommunicating. They weren't on the same page. Paradise Tempest were just playing together at all times, playing at a level that University of New Haven just couldn't match.
Yeah. So, as I say, congratulations to Paradise Tempest. Commiserations to University of New Haven. This is not the end. Well, it is kind of the end of the stream because there's going to be a little bit of a break in between now and the Expert Division Grand Finals. So get yourself a cup of tea, get some dinner in you, to make sure to come back in about an hour's time to come watch the Expert Division Grand Finals right here, casted by user Intel and Joe the Pantry Man Razor.
Pantry!
As it should be another great series of Overwatch. You're not going to want to miss it. But this has been me and Dividing, signing off for the last time for this season of Get Good. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out and have a wonderful evening.
Bye.